Hey everybody, welcome back to the Actors Vlog. This is episode 3 and I am Stephen Anthony Bailey. Alright, so I was thinking about everything that I put out into the world. I've got this podcast that I do called Hollywood Happy Hour Podcast, dedicated to long-form interviews with artists and people in show business, asking them questions about their life, their career. And I've got my blog on Tumblr. It's full of stories and thoughts of mine about my career, about things that I've learned, about things that I want to tell people about so that they can learn from maybe my mistakes or my accomplishments or just my experiences all together. And then I have this vlog. So I was thinking, I do all these different projects and I put it all out there into the world. What am I trying to say? And I was trying to boil it down into one thing, and it's almost impossible to do, but I thought to myself, well, why don't we make a video for the Actors Vlog giving you 5 things I wish that I had known when I started acting. Everyone always asks you that. What do you wish you would have done? What do you regret? What do you wish you would have known? So I made myself a list. I'm really big on lists. So here we go. The number one thing that I wish I would have done when I moved to Los Angeles is get into an improv class. I've talked about this constantly. It's in the vlog, it's in the blog, and it's in the podcast. I just wish that I would have done it. It was definitely a game changer because I was going to all these scene study classes and going to casting director workshops, but as soon as I had UCB 101 on my resume, things started to change and I started to get really nice auditions for feature films, for commercials, TV roles, all of it. I had a really fun time at UCB. UCB is a great school. It's completely opposite from Groundlings, but I'm glad that I got training now at both schools because it's definitely broadened the scope of what I feel that I can do as an improviser on stage or on camera. Improvisations also help my stand-up comedy too, a lot, because I can be funny and riff a lot easier now. I remember my mentor from back in Indiana said, you have to go to Groundlings, you're going to love it. And it took me forever to go to Groundlings, and now that I've gone to Groundlings and I've studied there, I love it so much. It's literally my favorite school in Los Angeles. But not only is it filled with great history and is it great training, it's very important on the resume and makes me look even better to those casting directors that are casting comedies. So make sure you go to improv class. Not only is it good for your craft, your technique, it's a lot of fun and it looks great on the resume. Number 2, it goes back to college actually. I wish that I would have gone to the college that I wanted to go to. Instead, I went to a college that was closer to home and it was cheaper, but you definitely get what you give when it comes to college. You get the bang for your buck, and if you don't give a lot of bucks, you're not going to get a lot of bang. I personally didn't feel that I grew very much while I was in my theater school, which is why I left that school, but I wish that I would have gone to the school I wanted to go to. So if you have a school in mind that you want to go to and you're really passionate about it, don't let anybody talk you out of it. Take those crazy school loans and go for it. I don't want to say that I regret not going because my life has definitely led me through peaks and valleys and down these winding roads, and I've gotten to do certain things because I didn't go to college that I wouldn't have had I gone to college all 4 years. So it's been very interesting, and I have a very eclectic history, but I also do wonder what would have happened if I'd have gone to that college, and those are always tough words to say. I wonder what would have happened. So make sure that you at least go check out the program. I always say that when you go to film school or theater school, you are paying half for the education, but the other half you're paying for is for the network, for the alumni network that you're going to get, for the people that you went to school and you were in class with, and you never know, who those people are going to be later or who they're going to be to you in your personal life. Maybe they're just somebody that gives you words of wisdom or words of positivity to keep you going and keep your spirits lifted up, or they could be the next J.J. Abrams or Steven Spielberg that remembers you and puts you in their film. Who knows? Number 3, I wish I would have moved to LA sooner. Go as soon as you can. I came out here when I was 23 and I looked very young. I looked roughly like I was 18. Now I'm 28, I look like I'm 22, 23, which is kind of an awkward age when it comes to casting because there's not that many roles written for that age range. There's tons of them written for 18-year-olds, there's tons of them written for 27-year-olds, but that middle ground is where it gets kind of interesting. So come out here as soon as you can. I'm not saying if you look like you're 23 to 26 that you shouldn't come out as soon as you can. If you're 28, if you're 40, if you're 52 and you say, I want to be in LA, get in the car and come out now, because the sooner you come out here, the sooner you can dive in and get started on your dreams. The next one I want to talk about is make your own content. I've been saying it nonstop. Make your own short films, direct them, produce them, write them, act in them, make your own web series, make your sketches, make your demo reels, make a feature film, make anything that you can. I've made a lot of my own content and I wish I would have made more, and I'm going to keep doing it for the rest of my life. Even if it is a studio picture, I'm going to look at it as this is my content. I'm making my own creations. It gives you so much freedom to say what you want to say as an artist. It helps you develop quicker, and it gives you a sense of ownership of your own career, a sense of your own fate, so that you don't feel that your agents or your managers or the casting directors or the studio heads are holding you back from having the career that you've dreamed about. Do it by yourself. You want to play a cop? Write yourself a cop role and make yourself a cop short film. Put it on your resume, put it on your demo reel. Once those casting directors start looking for a cop and they click on your link, they're gonna say, hey, he's already done this, he knows what he's doing, let's bring him in. Make your own content, I don't care what it is. Make your own content, I don't care if it sits in your hard drive for 2 years, just make something. Start making anything and make as much as you can. To be honest with you, that's the best thing that I can tell you to do. That's the #1 thing outside of taking that improv class. If you're taking improv classes and you're making your own content, as soon as you get to LA, you are in such a good place. You're going to be ahead of so many people. Trust me on that, because I know so many actors that aren't doing either one of those things, and they're wondering why their careers aren't going anywhere. All of your content adds up. All the vines and the photos on Instagram and the short films and the sketches and the web series, the student films, the feature films that you're in, your extra work, all of it adds up into your body of work. Think of that. You need to think of it all as this body of work that you're working on. Think of it this way. What if there's a museum dedicated to you and all of your art? Do you have enough for an exhibit? Do you have art that you've made that you're proud to show off? If not, now's the time to start making it. Okay, so here's the next thing that I want to talk about. Don't give your time or resources away too much. Now, you should definitely help people out. You should give people that helping hand and pull them up. The way that we all come up is we all come up together as an army, as a force. If we're all a force, then we're unstoppable. But think about this. If you're dedicating all of your time to helping somebody else with their demo reel, helping somebody else film their movie, how are you ever going to get your movie filmed? When's going to be your time? Don't let anyone take away your time and your creative control. And don't let anybody take advantage of you either. So many people are going to ask you for favors. It's okay to say no. Don't say no all the time. If you say no all the time, people are just going to forget about you and think that you're unreliable. But you don't have to say yes to every single thing, especially when it's going to take away from something that you're trying to do to push yourself forward. Always look at everything as balance. I'm always going to keep repeating that. Balance, balance, balance. Are you giving away too much? Are you taking too much? Try to find that middle ground where you're helping other people and bringing other people up, but also make sure that you're keeping yourself afloat as well. That's what's very important. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors in show business. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to try to make you think that, hey, if you do this for me, I'll help you out later. You can never count on that. Trust me, you can never, ever count on somebody who's saying that they're going to help you out later. Because you never know what somebody's life is going to be. Somebody could say, hey, you know what, I'm going to be in your short film next week. But then they get booked on something, now you don't have them for your short film. What are you going to do, not make your short film? Don't worry about that. Make your short film anyway and cast somebody else. Who cares? But don't rely on other people too much. It's okay to give trust and it's okay to rely on people somewhat, but if you keep relying on everyone for everything, how are you ever going to get anything done? So here's the thing, I don't want this vlog to end feeling negative or about regrets. That's not what this is about. This is just about the 5 things that I wish I would have known. Not to give up my time and resources too much. Go to improv right away. Make your own content as much as you can, which I've been doing, but you always wish that you would have made more. And don't be scared to take risks. If you see a new technology coming out, don't be scared of it, just mess around with it. Here's a story about Vine. When Vine first came out, I thought it was silly. I didn't want to act in 6.5-second videos, but now I've tapped into it and I've made 60 of them so far, and I've gotten a whole new audience that I wouldn't have had otherwise. So you gotta take a chance and you gotta keep up with what's trending. Don't be a grumpy old man or woman. Now here's something very important. Follow your gut, but don't let your ambition lead you to making bad decisions. Always think about everything before you do it. Think about the consequences, think about the positives and the negatives, and find the balance. Now here's the thing, as cliche as it sounds, you only live once and you only have one career. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs, you're going to have great days, you're going to have bad days, you're going to be hopeful, you're going to be hopeless at certain points, but you just got to keep going. Alright, so that's it. So those are the 5 things I wish I had known before I started my career or before I moved to LA, one or the other. But look, here's the thing, just get started and just go for it. Take a chance. You never know what it's going to get you. I'm Stephen Anthony Bailey, and that's the Actors Vlog. We'll see you next time.